here we go. It's 6 o'clock. I'm bringing the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we have several sets of minutes to approve. The first being the November 20th, 2020 special meeting minutes. Where are they? Is that the first one on top?
That's the tax rate review. Should be the top one.
I move to accept the minutes from November 20th, 2020 as written.
Okay, Zach.
Second.
Zach moved, John seconded. Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Bill, aye. Second set is November 23rd work session meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I move to accept them as written.
Okay, Zach moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Mary Ann second. John, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Bill, aye. The third set, November 23rd, non-public work session number 1.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Okay, John moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Neil seconds. Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. All right. The November 30th, non-public work session number 2. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes from the non-public work session number 2 on November 30th.
Wow. Mary Ann
Thank you.
moved.
Full mouth.
Mary Ann moves. Is there a second?
Am I seeing the date wrong on my sheet?
November 20.
Says November 20.
Oh, yeah. Well, very good.
Who?
Oh. Okay, so that should be the 23rd.
Should be the 20.
The agenda should say the 23rd.
Yep. So the minutes are correct, at least for that particular thing. All right, so we have a motion. Mary Ann moves. Who seconded? Neil? I forget now. No, we do have a second.
Do you
I'll
have a
second.
second?
Or if Neil didn't second, I'll second.
Okay.
Okay,
Zach?
Zach seconds. John, your vote.
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Gotcha. Okie dokie. So the last being the November 23rd regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes from November 23rd.
All right, Mary Ann moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Neil second. Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Announcements. The select board.
I'm just looking at the 21 in here already.
Okay. The select board will meet on the following dates. We'll have our regular meetings on Monday, December 28th. Also Monday, January 11th, 2021. and Monday, January 25th, 2021. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. All the above meetings will be via Zoom, and you can find the dial-in information on the town's website at plymouth-nh.org. Town offices will be closed Friday, December 25th in celebration of Christmas Day. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the Town Hall before 12 p.m. the Friday before the scheduled meeting. Reopening of town offices. The town of Plymouth continues to follow the governor's orders and CDC updates and recommendations very closely regarding COVID-19. At this time, the State of Emergency Order 72 under Section 18 of Executive Order 2020-04 has been extended until January 15th, 2021. Due to the concerns of the COVID-19 virus and by agreement of the town's emergency management director, town offices will remain closed to the public until January 31st, 2021. Please note, as we respond to this unprecedented and rapidly changing situation, the above plans may change at any time in the future. We expect to receive regular updates and will make every attempt to keep you informed. Please continue to check our website and Facebook page for up-to-date planning and information. And if you need something, please don't hesitate to call the Selectman's office at 536-1731 from 8 until 4:30 p.m. The town clerk's office at 536-1732 between 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the tax collector's office at 536-4733 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And next on the agenda, I don't see him.
Not here, let's don't look like he's here tonight.
Okay, so the next item is the emergency management update. Scott Weed, our emergency management director.
Good evening. How is everybody?
Doing
Doing
well.
well. How about you, Scott?
Very good. Thank you. So I have a few updates with regards to COVID and what we've been working on. And the first is the update to the COVID-19 policy. And what this reflects on this amendment, this update, is with regards to the Safer at Home 2.0 Universal Guidelines travel updates of removing the 14-day to the 10-day quarantine period. So in this here, the changes are, first of all, the 10-day quarantine. Second is we defined close contacts in the policy. And third is we listed the sources in case an employee wanted to look at the different sources that we're pulling this material from. The material that we're pulling from with regards to the 10-day quarantine, like I said, was the Safer at Home 2.0 that was updated by the governor on December 9th. And that reflects the changes, the amendment to the current policy that we have in place.
Scott, I have just one amendment, which is number 6. And we had talked about this a little bit earlier. The 14-day on line 2, it says must either self-quarantine for 14 days. That needs to be changed to 10. Is that correct?
That is correct, Ann. There
Okay.
was
So there's
confusion
one more.
which
And then there's-
policies individuals were researching.
There was one additional question that was posed today on number 5. It says employees should not return to work until cleared by a healthcare provider or 10 days from last symptom. The HR welfare director had posed the question if that should be the last symptom or symptom onset. It has been last symptom since it was originally created, but there's a couple guidance out there that say onset, and there's some that say last symptom. Do we want to leave that as last symptom?
It should remain last symptom. That's what's in the current universal guidelines as updated on December 9th.
Okay, so we just wanted to clarify that to make sure that we understood.
Correct. And I did have a discussion with her on that this afternoon.
Okay, thank
Are we
you.
talking COVID related here?
We are.
Yeah,
Because
Oh,
there's
no.
a difference, and we all know that we're talking about one of my employees. Because I asked that question because employee has symptoms, tested negative for COVID, and just has the regular flu. So that's kind of the conundrum we are in right now.
The only question I'd ask Steve, if they've been tested for the flu.
Good question.
I don't know the answer to that sitting here right now. I did not ask that question, so
So
I
if
can't
they were
ask that
tested
question.
from the flu and they tested negative for COVID, they could return to work 24 hours after, as long as they were fever-free and not taking any fever-reducing medication.
Correct. That part I know, like for the regular flu, but I just didn't know if that had changed at all because of the whole COVID thing.
No.
Okay.
And Steve, your employees, yours and Tommy's employees can fall into a little bit different category because of the need to have an individual run dispatch, be a police officer, a firefighter. There is something that we can run down through to see if they qualify to come back earlier because you need that essential employee. So that's, and I know Scott, you're aware of that essential employee listing there. So we can definitely work on that. Steve, you know, if you, all you got to do is come to us and say, I don't have any dispatchers today. What are you going to do?
I haven't had any dispatchers for the past week.
Okay.
We're struggling. So yes, I will come visit you tomorrow, Ann, and we could work on that.
Okay. But we will keep Scott apprised of what we're doing.
Absolutely. I talk to Scott all the time, and if we don't talk to each other, we make sure we catch up at least once during the week and say, hey, I haven't heard from you. How are things going?
Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I will say that both Tommy and Steve are very good about communicating back and forth to make sure that if one of us doesn't have the answer, somebody else does, or we're researching it. And we had a situation like that today that we were able to research and get Steve an answer on. So I think there's open lines of communication, making sure the departments are staying in touch.
I mean, you have to, because these rules are changing weekly, daily, depending on the situation. So it's very difficult to keep track of. And just having Scott there researching all of it is a giant benefit for this town. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
I think we're all happy with Scott's addition of Scott. But that gets back to the fact that Appendix 2 here, last revised today, will be further revised today just to change that 10-day quarantine.
So if you could just make a motion to approve it as amended, because we're still in that amendment process as of today.
Okay,
So if you approve it with that one additional change as amended.
all right. Can we have a motion to approve the revised Appendix 2 of the Town of Plymouth Personnel Manual for COVID-19 illness policy? Or
So moved.
or a simple motion. That's
So moved.
all right. Thanks. Mary Ann moves. Neil seconds. Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Oh, any discussion? Seeing none. Zach said aye. Neil,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
where's John?
Lost him.
Oh, John. Bill, aye. We have a majority. I think he ended up dropping, I guess. Okay.
So as another update, we had talked last meeting with regards to the testing of wastewater for COVID-19.
Right.
So I went and met with, I didn't go and meet with, we met virtually with Jason Randall and Jay Harrington at Plymouth Village Water and Sewer District. And what I was able to find out through them was that they did start testing back in August. They were doing 2 tests weekly on Wednesday and Sundays. And those were being sent to UNH, Dr. Paula Mauser, and her laboratory team were analyzing those samples. So we do have the opportunity to do wastewater sampling for COVID-19. There is an expense to it. The testing that was taking place from August through October was actually covered through a grant that UNH had written for the universities. That grant has subsequently run out, and the testing is $200 per test. And that's comparative to firms in Massachusetts that are doing $1,000 per test. So in speaking with Jay and Jason, they can do a lot of good for us, I believe, and working collaboratively with the university, with Spear Memorial Hospital, with Pemmy Baker School District, and checking to see how we can identify COVID-19 prior to an uptick in cases. And they said when we had our last uptick back a month and a half ago, they saw that coming 5 days prior to that uptick occurring. So I think it's a valuable resource that we have. It not only identifies what we're seeing in town in Plymouth, but also from Holderness School, as well as out on Tenny Mountain Highway, Fairgrounds Road, and they can identify specific locations by dorm, by hospital, by school, by Holderness School, for purposes of identifying where the COVID may be coming from. So that's kind of in a nutshell, but I think it would benefit us to have a further conversation with the university system, with Spear Memorial Hospital, and with the school, and maybe between the four entities, and if there's somebody else, another entity that someone can think of, is really kind of splitting those costs. And I think it'd be a very minor expense based on the information we would receive on if we're going to see something. It obviously doesn't take the place of testing, but I think it gives us a nice idea of if we're going to see an uptick in the next week or so. So I just bring that to the board tonight to kind of give my findings of my discussions with Jay and Jason, and I will send you the write-up that I have with regards to this. And if we want to entertain speaking with Marlon about it, speaking with Dr. Ebner about it, and maybe Kaylee at the school, I think it would benefit us nicely.
Thanks, Scott. Hey, so when Deb Burks was on campus, and I was talking with Mike's son after her presentation at Silver, and Mike's son is being tasked with starting testing for COVID, different analyses, and I think something like this. And it's too bad Marlon couldn't be on tonight for that matter. But yeah, I'm sure conversations could be had with Marlon to, see if we might engage, Mike's son in doing it. I mean, it's not CLIA approved, but I don't think we really care. And he's doing a couple of methods that would probably be, quick results versus, something out of house. So, I think it's pretty intriguing, and there's been a lot of reporting lately on, the use of sewage testing. And if we want to like nail down, different dorms and the high school and, whatever, it might be kind of costly, but hopefully if we can engage the university or something, that might, be a relatively, cheap expense, but.
Yeah, in my conversation I had with Dr. Ebner after our last meeting, he's very intrigued by it and would like to engage in the conversation as well.
Good. Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you don't mind, I'd like to reach out to those parties involved to see if they would like to engage in a conversation, maybe at a work session, to kind of move this forward prior to the university coming back after the 25th.
I think that'd be a great idea. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I have a question. The $200 for each test, does that apply to each specific site that you're testing, or is that just the test of the whole town?
That's testing the whole town for $200 per test, and that includes the transportation from Plymouth down to, if we were going to use the University of New Hampshire, it includes that transportation and testing fees.
That's a great deal.
How often do they test that?
They were doing it twice a weekend. They're not currently doing it right now because the grant was expended, but they were testing on Wednesdays and Sunday.
Yeah, just to clarify, I think Neil was thinking, we're not going to be able to specify site. It'll be like the town of Plymouth, a one-shot deal, and we get a result for $200.
No, they would be able to do specific sites by test. By that one test, they can do specific sites out of that one testing.
Huh. Well,
It's
Does
great.
Mike's son work for the college? Is that why you were, okay. So they were thinking that the college could actually do the test?
that's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, University System Laboratory is doing it.
And again, it's not a CLIA approved laboratory, but I don't think we need to have CLIA
Right.
approval for refuse. So,
Right,
But-
I agree.
all right, that sounds great. Yes.
And I will forward the full write-up from Jason and Jay, because I think you'll find it very interesting how the biomarkers are identified through the SARS-CoV-2 testing. So it's interesting read, and I think it would benefit us greatly.
Very good. See, maybe they can do a PFAS test too and nail two birds, but never mind.
January, are you looking at possibly the
oh.
first meeting in January? Is
Yeah,
that
sure.
budget hearings and whatnot coming up in January? So I just want to get that in if we can.
Okay, so yeah, like outside of, so what, January 11th maybe?
Yep.
Maybe you can target January 11th?
Okay, sure.
All right.
Just a couple other quick updates is that we were notified by Homeland Security Emergency Management that our pre-disaster mitigation grant was funded with the $9,000. So we will be starting that with our first report going back to Homeland Security on May 29th. So I have been in touch with Jane Hubbard. We will start to formulate the committee, the meetings, which obviously will be a little different this year with regards to virtual Zoom meetings. But she's putting a calendar together that she will provide to us, of which I will bring to the board, and we can get that approved and get our committee members lined up for that.
Okay.
The last thing is on the New Hampshire Municipal Listserv, there's a lot of conversation going on now about surveying employees about the COVID-19 vaccine and seeing if employees are going to be willing to take the vaccine, not that it's mandatory, but getting an idea of what the workplace is going to look like after or when the COVID-19 vaccine is administered. And some of the questions, it's a very simple questionnaire that I found on the listserv that talks about, would you accept a COVID-19 vaccine if generally available? Would you accept a COVID-19 vaccine if recommended by your employer? Would you be less or more likely to accept a vaccine if employer required mask wearing for those unvaccinated? What reservation, if any, do you have for accepting the vaccine? And it kind of gives us an idea, because in what they're trying to drill down to here is what questions will be in the workplace if someone's vaccinated. Will they still be required to wear a mask? Or if someone is unvaccinated, should they be around the folks that are vaccinated? And I think Tommy actually kind of created his own survey in the fire department and talked to his staff. But I just raised that because I'm really curious, and municipalities are really curious, HR departments, on how this is going to affect the workplace and employees coming in.
I did pass out that survey today via email to all my members. I did the questions in the form of an attachment so they can print it out, answer it. So it's also anonymous. So we are partaking in that as we speak. That just went out to my employees today. Those very questions you just asked.
Okay.
I think that should go town-wide, Mr. Chairman. I think that would be a good plan, and it would perhaps relieve some of the hesitation and answer some of the questions that some employees may have about the vaccine.
The other part to that is, we're really hoping that some documents come out with regards to dispelling myths and rumors about the vaccine. And I know DHHS has a couple documents, and working with CVS Caremark, they're putting out a white paper in conjunction with other pharmaceutical companies with regards to myths, rumors, frequently asked questions about the vaccine. So I would hope that we would be able to get some of that documentation and get it out to our staff. So if they do have certain questions, maybe they'd be answered in the FAQs. If not, maybe we can refer them to Dr. Ebner even to answer some of the questions that they may have prior to accepting a vaccine.
All right. That's a good idea. Any input from the board?
I think this is very interesting and it's very hopeful.
And I think how Steve mentioned it, that's probably a good idea, is to put it out and let people respond without being able to identify. So I think you're going to get a true feeling on what folks feel about it.
I can email that attachment to the town hall, the department heads or whatever. So if people want to use it, they can use it. Absolutely. It's no secret. I really got the questions from Scott anyway. So
Would you expect like Missy or HR director to kind of be the central person on that, or who would
It doesn't matter. Technically they're going back to you, correct, Steve? Sorry, not you, Steve. They should probably go.
For my department, I am, and then I was going to collect them and bring them, to you guys downtown just to give you some answers.
Scott, can we actually send them to you?
You can if you would like. Sure.
They could email him directly, and I wouldn't see Kathy's. Kathy wouldn't see mine. I mean, so it would go directly to Scott, who could come back to the board maybe at the next meeting he's scheduled with some sort of information.
Okay.
Scott, would you be okay with that?
I'm fine with that if everybody else agrees with it.
So right now, though, you got Steve doing his own thing, which is more along the lines of what you wanted. Tom has a similar questionnaire, or would you mind having the one that's kind of a standard one, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll send that one out.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the major departments. So, but yeah, that would be a good idea to have Scott coordinate it.
The only thing I'm going to point out is that if we make it anonymous, it's also going to be difficult to keep track of what employee didn't hand you one. So that you're going to have that. You're going to have some employees that just aren't going to answer them.
Which is fine. He could set a date that says by, January 5th, I'd like to have your responses back. It's anonymous. It's voluntarily. If they don't respond, he can't answer any questions. That's just, and then he could.
And the ones I've seen, I think, the fear is going to be set aside by what Scott said. If we have some, facts and some actual answers, especially if it came from somebody like Dr. Ebner, somebody who's trusted in our community, I think that would help out big time, because the ones I'm seeing, and my own, when I filled it out, just, the unknown, what are the side effects of this and everything else like that. And it's just, like Scott said, there are some rumors out there, and, it's no secret. I don't care if anybody knows, I'm choosing to get it when it's available for me. I am going to get it. But I'm not going to lie. I'm a little scared about it, because I don't know what the side effects are, that just the fear of the unknown, that's out there.
Right. We'll work on that.
Yep.
The only other thing I just wanted to update is that the governor did issue a new executive order late on Friday, 2020-24, which just extends the state of emergency until January 1st, 21. But keeping in mind, we still have emergency order number 72, which extended order 52 to January 15th. So those are the two newest orders reflecting the state of emergency and the emergency orders, as well as the Safer at Home 2.0 that was updated on December 9th.
I don't quite get that. So what if you have like conflicting dates? Because Executive Order 2020-04 was extended until January 15th.
Right.
So, so what was the other one that was January 4th or?
So the new executive order that came out late on Friday was 2020-24, which extended the state of emergency until 1/1/21, but already in effect is emergency order 72, which extended emergency order 52, taking us to the January 15th date. And that's what we based on keeping the office closed until January 31st.
Welcome to trying to keep track of this mess. It is
Yeah.
difficult.
Well, anyway,
Can I just ask if Scott is all set, if the board could just make a motion to accept the Homeland Mitigation Grant for the, the Homeland Security Grant for the mitigation update plan. Scott, that was for 95 or 7,500?
9,500.
The amount of the federal portion of the grant is $9,000 to be updated. Town of Plymouth local hazard mitigation plan, and we had $3,000 out of our budget to fund that.
You do not have to have a public hearing to accept those funds because it is under $10,000.
All right. So is there a motion to accept those funds?
So moved.
All right, Neil moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mary Ann seconds. John, your vote? I saw him say aye. Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
Bill? Aye.
John is aye.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Scott. Is that it?
Very
Okay. So we've got several purchase orders to approve, or at least consider. The first is first several. Steve, the police department is going forward with several POs.
Yeah, let me first explain. You guys already voted on this. This had to do with the cruisers and all the equipment to go in the cruisers and the installation. What it is a lot of these vendors don't want one purchase order. They want their own purchase order. So I had to separate these from, the actual cruiser purchases. So that's what that is there. For all of them, I'm just looking at them now on my phone. You have Advanced Electronics, 3 new computers, the West Virginia Signals, Novo, and then the Stalker radars. Those are all the equipment that's going in the 3 new cruisers that were already voted on, including the equipment inside.
All right. Well, you tell us how we should consider them. Should just one bulk?
Well, it's entirely up to you. I needed individual, like I said, each vendor wanted their own purchase order. They didn't want to be combined together.
Chief, is there any price difference here than what you presented previously?
No. Nope.
So what
The
you
only thing I
approved,
presented previously was a total dollar amount. These are just broken down individually. That's the only difference.
and all you did on that purchase order, Steve, was actually purchase the 3 vehicles, correct?
For that one purchase order on the vehicle, yeah, that got broken down to its own purchase order as well.
So these are really, in addition, you're not giving him authority to spend this in addition to that purchase order. That purchase order was reduced down to whatever the amount the cruisers cost.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not asking for any additional money at all.
Okay. And there was no need to bid them out. There was basically a sole source for,
This is for the equipment.
for the equipment itself. It's
No,
not-
they
no
pick
discretion.
where the equipment comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I think for the 5 POs, is there a motion? 4 POs, excuse me.
I move that we give individual purchase orders for each of the suppliers that that Steve has mentioned, as long as they're all inclusive in the amount that we originally approved.
Second.
Okay, Neil moves, John seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Let's have it.
Thank you. Hopefully that shortened things for you a little bit.
Yeah, I think it did. All right, let me just, and let me just finish this up. Okay, Tommy, you've got several POs yourself.
Yes, hi again. The first is to accept the donations that we received for the new stretcher, for the new ambulance. And to give a little background, we had received $10,000 from the bond towards that stretcher. The remainder was raised via a fundraiser. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read the list of names, but not the amounts that we received donations from. Is that okay?
Yeah.
One was anonymous, Mr. and Mrs. Hahn, Mr. Moorhead, Pemmy Baker Centennial Lions Club, Plymouth General Dentistry, Plymouth Rotary Foundation, Spear Memorial Hospital, who actually put forth a challenge that really kicked this off, State Farm Insurance, Walk to Campus, and Walmart. So we are grateful to all of those individuals and families and entities for donating to this fundraiser, and would ask you to authorize acceptance of those funds for the purchase of the stretcher.
Okay, well, there's a lot of familiar names there. So is there a motion to accept $8,537.28 for the power stretcher for the fire department and the authority to extend the same?
So moved.
All right, John moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Neil seconds. Any discussion?
This is wonderful.
Thank you, Neil.
When did you run the fundraiser, Tom?
Primarily Facebook.
So therefore, Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Ayes have it. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
So your next PO for Stryker Medical.
So that is the stretcher that we just spoke about for the new ambulance. That's a power stretcher, which is electric over hydraulic. And that's the same stretcher that we have in the other ambulance. They're both equipped the same in terms of the receiver on the floor. We did get one other quote that was higher. And Stryker for us has been a preferred vendor, and they also give us preferred pricing. We have, you may recall, we bought the last defibrillator from them and multiple service contracts with them. So we already enjoy premium pricing with them. So I would recommend that amount be approved for the purchase of that stretcher.
Okay, and the amount was $19,944.55. And that will be reduced by the monies that we have.
Yes. And it kind of, Tom, when you put 2-year bumper to bumper warranty on a stretcher, that sounds a little odd, but I guess that is what you have to do.
Where did you, oh, it's in the quote?
It's on the PO.
In the purchase order.
Yeah.
So therefore, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
John moves, Neil seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Okay, thanks, Tom. Your next, PO.
I hate to end on bad news, but we were recently informed that the sewer line from the house section of the fire station, the house that we purchased, that line to the street is in failure. And we're getting septic back up into the basement at times. So this quote from Rowell's was twofold. One, they will go in with a camera and investigate whether the liner that they propose is actually going to work. And if not, we'll be coming back with a complete excavation project at probably twice the cost. So the price on the PO is the outside cost if Rowell's is able to go in and replace that line. And what they do, they actually blow in after they clean it out, they blow in a liner that is effectively like a new liner. And it's no surprise to anybody, that line's about 70 years old, that's in failure. I did consult with Jason from Water and Sewer. He was kind enough to look at this with me, and he concurred that that is a good choice if Rowell's can do it, that blow-in liner. So that's the plan. Unfortunately, we won't know exactly until they get in there. Hopefully this week, if it gets approved. We can't keep going with with not being able to use the plumbing on that side of the station and having septic back up into the basement. So unfortunately, this wasn't in the budget, but obviously we'll do what we can to make it up.
Okay.
Did you get any other bids?
We had contacted several companies, one of which we do a lot of business with, who is closed right now for COVID, and others who couldn't get there at all or in a timely fashion.
Did they give you an estimate on their costs?
No, I didn't even have people call me back or tell me that they could come and look at it.
Did Rowell's give you a proposed cost proposal?
Yes, that's what's in that PO, Neil. That's the outside cost for them. That's how that PO price was developed.
Okay.
From Rowell's quote.
All right.
That includes, Tom, that includes the liner?
Yes.
But we may not use the liner based on the video results, is that?
Right. If they don't think that line is stable enough to contain a blow-in liner, then we'll be looking at digging it up. And I'm told, I'm still waiting for a quote on that, but I'm told it'll be twice the cost if we have to dig that up and replace it.
Well, we have contractors in the community that should be given a chance to bid on digging it up if that's necessary.
Absolutely. Yep. I have some calls out now just to get an idea on price and to get them, lined up if need be.
I will say, so I'm dealing with a similar issue with Rowell's at my own house. Rowell's told me they didn't want to work with a third-party excavator. They wanted to contract the excavation themselves for the job here. And they thought that was a safety issue for their guys to be able to control that process.
I think if we got to that point, they would be one amongst many bidders, I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing says we would have to go with them if
Well, that sounds reasonable.
All right. So therefore, I'm looking for a motion to expend up to $9,233 to Rowell's for a sewer reline, worst case scenario.
Not actually the worst case scenario, but it is
Yeah.
what we're proving up to.
Okay.
But that will make such
Scenario.
What's that? Zach or Mary Ann, what did you say?
That's the best case scenario.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
I'll move that we approve up to $9,233 for RALs.
Okay, Zach moves. Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh, John can have that.
Okay, John seconds. John, your vote?
Aye.
Whoa, any discussion? I think we already had our discussion.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe we should consider approaching some of the local contractors who do these sewer line hookups to see if they can do it for that amount of money.
You mean that to dig it up for that amount
Yeah,
and replace it?
yeah, I think they might even be able to do it for less. If you consult with them and get some estimates.
Yeah, the trouble is, I mean, time is of the essence as it's backing up in the basement.
So if we spend the 9,200 and it doesn't work, or will they
Well,
tell you it won't work?
Yeah, they wouldn't proceed if they don't think it's
Okay.
stable enough to contain
All right,
that liner.
yeah.
I think
I'll
we
go
should
along with
definitely, if RALs can't do the liner, I think at that point we should probably try to get some multiple bids on the project.
I would agree.
I think what Neil was suggesting that you could do it in one shot just by having a local just dig it up and replace it, and it'll be under nine grand or something. But yeah, Tom was saying time is
Well,
of
I
the
think
essence.
that's possible.
Yeah,
You're going to end up what I'm told is in effect you'll have a like new line when they get done.
Well, I'm willing to give them a shot.
all right. Any other discussion? Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Neil?
I
John?
Aye.
Bill? Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Tommy,
Sir,
you guys need any help with toys or anything?
yes.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to be getting together this week to put the packages together and get them out the door on Saturday.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Good call.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, and next up we have Jesse Jennings to talk about his PO for digital mapping of Riverside Cemetery. Oh, you're muted, Jesse.
he was there.
He's
I forgot to unmute myself.
Yep.
So the digital mapping of Riverside Cemetery. Obviously, if you didn't know, we have a lot of plots. We've been doing it the hard way. This is a cloud-based software system out of California called Semify. Yeah. Me and Colleen, we got a introduction to the software, and pretty much it would help us manage Riverside Cemetery, so that way the public can actually log into the website and type in the name of whomever they're looking for, and they will be able to locate that plot within approximately 5 feet of where the website's telling them. The cost of it is on the PO is $6,700. There is money in the budget. It was actually money it was put into the cemetery budget for this software. I did not see the original quote for that. I didn't create this year's budget. From what it seems like, it is a $1,900 increase from what was actually put into this year's budget. for this software system.
Okay, and Jesse, I know we've tried several solutions to getting an inventory of that cemetery, and the latest one was, I guess, the MSI or whatever, and nothing was really satisfactory. So this
Right.
is,
So with this software, inside the contracts, it is we don't, the company, we give the company the database for basically all the information that we have on file to them. Then they upload it into their system, their software. We're doing this very antiquatedly. It's not to the point where we're writing names. Well, actually, yeah, we have been. We've legitimately really been writing names into plots on a map and saving the information somewhat digitally. This will be all digital.
and they'll take all our paper and any kind of databases that we've had, and then they'll reproduce it in their own software.
So what we do have is we do have some digital information, and that would be given to them, like our maps. We've Colleen, who's the cemetery admin person, she went to Minuteman Press, was able to have the cemetery maps digitally remade and sent to them. So they will actually make a digital map on their software system and take all the information that we have currently and place those that information to the exact plot.
Okay.
And then, so it's the building of the software is $6,000. There's a $700 yearly fee, with a possibility of upgrades. So we're just going to start the lowest administrative system right now, so which is $700 a year. Is there any other questions?
Well, actually, is there a front end to this so that just the citizen can just go in and do research, or will they have to go through you as an administrator of the software?
Say your question again.
And like somebody researching any name in that cemetery, go in. You said it's on the cloud, so they can just have access to it through the website or something?
Yep. So if you wanted to look somebody up specifically in Riverside Cemetery, you punch in their name and it will show you where they're located.
All right. And John,
and then there's the admin portion of that, which, like myself and Colleen, we would have control of that.
okay. And John, you had a question?
Yeah, can't we take this money out of the cemetery funds?
The perpetual
It is
care. The perpetual
it is
care.
coming out of the cemetery budget.
We can't use a perpetual. Yeah, you said it's already budgeted, but we're not going to be using perpetual care monies for this.
Oh,
I don't think we have enough in the perpetual care to fund it.
I think we do.
there's quite a bit of money in that.
You've got it budgeted this year. I think a good starting point would be to expend this money this year, and any future updates or upgrades you would put in as perpetual care.
Okay.
But to ask them to come up with $6,700 worth of interest immediately, they don't have it right now.
Okay.
Because the only thing you can expend out of perpetual care is the interest.
Right.
They're
Okay.
not getting the interest in.
Okay.
They're not getting any interest?
They're getting interest, but not at the rate that they used to, John.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Is it my understanding that there's not enough money in the budget to cover the cost up front
Nope.
at this time?
Yes, there is. They're talking
There
about
it is.
two different pots of money. They're talking about the perpetual care fund, and then they're talking about the actual budget for the cemetery. And we're using the budget.
The original proposal, Neil, was $1,900 less than what this purchase order is. Jesse's going to look at the cemetery budget and find the additional $1,900 in that budget somehow, so he does not overspend that budget entirely.
Thank you.
All right.
So I quick question. Jesse, do you know exactly what's in that software license? I asked because just checking the software out on their website, you said the base price, but they list the base price at $599, not $700.
I don't know. This is what we received from Simplify. I don't know what's on their website. Like the actual quote that we got from them.
Oh, so I don't have a quote. I just have the purchase order. Does somebody else have a quote?
No, I have a quote. So are you looking on their website?
Yeah, I'm looking on their website. The $400 an acre is on their website, but the annual price is listed as $599 a year. So that was what I was trying to
But
understand.
they always stick in a little administrative stuff, and by the time you finish it, well, it's 700. You know.
Actually, it was actually $800, and they knocked it down to $700 a year. They may have not updated their website. I have no idea, but that's what the quote is.
Well, actually, so they got preservation starts at $599 per year, but the management starts at $999 per year.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm trying to understand how 700 is none of those prices. So
Well, I think that might be the one that got knocked down to 700.
Yeah, it was actually $799. Got knocked down to 700. Yeah.
They don't list a product at $799 though.
No, they don't.
Special deal.
A COVID deal. As long as we have a quote that they will stay, you know, we're covered.
Yeah, I mean,
I
we
think
don't
it's
have
a
a
wonderful idea.
PO. We just have a PO with no quote.
So you have a contract offer.
Yes, I have a contract offer.
Maybe we could, yeah, maybe either table it or maybe see it in action too. I mean, I would.
Usually from the fire department or police or anybody else, we end up with we get the quote along with the PO.
He said he has, Jesse said he has it. He just didn't turn it in.
No, that's my fault.
Well,
Jesse, when do you plan on starting this project? Is there a time frame that you have?
Well, the quote is only good for 2 months, so.
So will it be after Christmas, potentially after January that you think you'd start it? Or
Well,
January?
I would like to start it as soon as possible.
I'm looking through their, I got the public website lookup, thermal walking maps.
Does the 700 include like upgrades and updates, or is that what's going to bump us up to 900?
No, so there's different levels. Like this, at this first level, this is just been able, like me or Colleen being able to put in a plot with a name on it or a burial. And then the next upgrade would be being able to do contracts, deeds.
You know what? I see. It says that additional users are available at $100 per user per year. So for you and Colleen, that's what's going to put it at $6.99.
Oh. And just to further the questions, but so I guess part of the deal is as far as maintenance, the fact that as we migrated each plot thing that we had either by hand or whatever, we end up with a database that either it can't be brought forward or it's just I'm worried about the general use of Semify. Is this like a software that's generally used in cemetery tracking? I wonder what kind of history and well, we got testimonials too.
Is that a question?
Yeah, like how will we be assured that the data that we give them is actually going to be worthwhile in like 5 years if they go bankrupt or something like that? I wonder how, like a standard format that it's being kept in or something that I just won't get into this, I guess. They have like around 20, maybe 30 sites in the US. It seems like it's really generally used. I don't know. Whatever. I'll, Jesse, I'm relying on your research and opinion of what this is.
Well, if you want to set up a demonstration, if you would like for me to get a demonstration set up so that all the select board could see it, I could probably make that happen.
Actually, there's a link to at least what it does. Like a product walkthrough. I don't know if that's needed or not. What does the rest of the board think?
Well, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
A lot of people would really appreciate it if it's going to work.
Me and Colleen, we watched a demonstration, and he actually took us to an actual cemetery that he manages, and it looks great. I mean, the data management of this system is what's going to help us the most. And I think it would definitely mitigate mistakes.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'm asking for a motion.
I move that we approve his request.
All right.
Second.
Neil moves, John seconds. Is there any further discussion?
So this is contingent on Jesse finding the extra $1,900?
No, I've already found it.
Oh, you have? Okay.
All right. Any other discussion?
Have we already planned in the coming budget years to cover the annual cost of this?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, Neil, your vote.
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And Bill, aye. Thanks, Jesse. I'd like to see it in action too, but I'll wait for the purchase.
Okay, I will get that contract to the selectmen for your signatures.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Jesse. You too.
Bye.
All right. So committee reports.
We had on the agenda one item.
Oh,
Do they
that's
know
right.
that-
People see this, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're taking it
just
off.
gonna gloss right over it. There was another item. It's actually titled Joe Fagnan, 142 Reservoir Road Concerns, Bishop Property, and
What's the name of the road?
Reservoir.
Okay.
And that was resolved when the parties got together to discuss a resolution. So there was no need for discussion on that tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So committee reports. Does anyone have a committee report you'd like to discuss?
School board met at the same time as us tonight, so
Yeah.
we missed it.
I did want to talk about one thing.
Sure.
I had sent out an email the beginning of December from Don Jutton from Water and Sewer Department looking for a couple of dates for the board and the commissioners and the Main Street businesses to have a joint meeting so that they could Don could have a presentation and the business owners could get their questions and concerns answered as far as the Main Street project. Don's looking for some time availability in mid-January. So my question to the board is, do you want to set up another board meeting, like on an off Monday maybe, to have all the business owners? Mary Ann, were you able to talk to any of the business owners about what their availability would be? I mean, nighttime meeting, daytime meeting.
Yeah, so you're gonna get stuck. I'm guessing earlier in the morning, a good 8:30 type thing. You won't get everybody, but more than at night.
Okay. So just any day in particular?
I can't think of any day that's better or worse for the whole group.
All right. Any board member have any problems with any days during the week at 8:30 a.m.?
How long?
Probably an hour, maybe. It might be a little longer than an hour.
I'm fine.
I can make that work most days.
Okay. Everybody else okay? Neil, are you okay with that?
Will that be a Zoom meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, I'll be okay.
Makes it easier when it's Zoom. You don't have to rush back to the town hall. So I'll throw that out to Don Jutton tomorrow. I'll send him an email and pin him down to a couple of days that you can choose from. I guess any day works for you guys as long as it's in the morning. So I'll get him pinned down to a date and we'll get the invitation out to business owners.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
So actually, I should have done it under a different comment thing, but regarding the positions, anything new on the code enforcer position or?
Building inspector or code enforcement. Scott actually is coming in to talk to me tomorrow, I think he said, because he's got an interest in it.
Okay, yeah.
But in the meantime, I did also get a letter of interest from the code enforcement officer, building inspector from Ashland, who Ashland had hired a part-timer, and I was asking if we could join forces.
Right, yep.
So the town manager there told me they only use their guy once a week. So their guy sent me a letter of interest. So talk to Scott and then we can talk to this other guy and see what works for us.
Okay.
Are we almost at a place where we can make an announcement about the other
Yes.
position?
The 28th, I have her on the regular agenda on the 28th. That's her start date. So I asked her if she could come to the board meeting so that the board can introduce her to the public.
That's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Anything else? All right, well then, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we adjourn.
All right, Neil moves, Zach seconds. John, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Should I abstain? Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Bill, aye.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, guys.